Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order a special meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority. It is June 19, 2017. Roll call, please.
Kohler.
Here.
Gilbert. Franklin.
Here.
Marshall. Anger.
Here.
Seabolt. Morrell.
Here.
Stroller.
Here.
Johnson.
Here. This meeting is for a public hearing, and it needs to be read into record, and then we'll convene into our regular meetings and have our invocation at that time. Number one, conduct second CDBG REAP grant public hearing for sludge dewatering container, filter, and WWTV, that is wastewater treatment plant improvements project for OK Department of Commerce, CDBG grant number 16616, CDBG 15. The following is our public hearing statement. The City of Perry has awarded a CDBG REAP grant for improvements at the wastewater treatment plant. This included a sludge dewatering container filter and other system improvements. The project benefits low to moderate income citizens. The following list of funds expended for that grant. First, CDBG funds was $48,015. REAP funds was $48,015. Local funds was $299,291.70. Total project funds were $395,321.70. Any comments from anyone in the audience concerning this dewatering project?
Are your numbers different than what we got in the packet?
Yes.
Jennifer Mike.
Last audited.
This is hot off the press.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
the difference is the increase in engineering fees. That was not on the original, that when I sent it to her, and so we increased that, which made the difference in that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, that includes engineering fees for the design of the project. Lori, you want this number? I'll give it to you in a second.
I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
The project is considered a closeout during this regular meeting. You as the public are invited to make comments concerning that project. Any comments? Seeing none, item 2 is to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Roll call, please.
Kohler.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Anger.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I call to order the Perry Municipal Authority meeting. It is June 19th, 2017. Roll call, please.
Colmeyer.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Franklin.
Here.
Marshall. Ahern.
Here.
Seabolt. Here. Morrell.
Here.
Stroller.
Here.
Johnson.
Here, I do declare quorum. Reverend, would you give our invocation this evening?
Happy to, Mr. Mayor. Let us pray. Eternal God, it is with great thanksgiving that we gather in prayer this evening. We're thankful for this rich land which you have given us as caretakers. We thank you for the gifts of the individuals represented on the council, and we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. Lord, as we face a time of anxiety and transition for many in our town, we pray that you would give us a sense of peace and unity. Help us to turn aside from petty bickering and negativity. Give us a sense of the common good that we might embody the greatest commandment that we love one another as you have loved us. In all things, whether they be anxiety or joy, we praise you, O God. And it is in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Reverend. We'll start with item 1, the consent agenda. Receive, approve the minutes of the regular PMA meeting of June 5, 2017. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Dixie.
Colmeyer.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 4, concerning the agenda this evening, are there any comments from those assembled? The PMA meeting. Any comments? Seeing none, item 5, proclamations, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Council, staff. Item 6, consider approval, resolution 2017-02 of the chairman and board of trustees of the Perry Municipal Authority approving the FY 2017-2018 budget and appropriating the revenues for the stated purposes as contained in the budget, directing the trust manager and secretary to take any and all additional actions that may be required for implementation of the budget. Our chief financial officer has prepared it. I'll let him speak for it.
Well, guys, I think I've individually spoken with all of you and kind of at least giving you some updates over what we thought 2 weeks ago was going to be a very easy budget to adopt and kind of work through and make things happen. And in light of some circumstances in our community in the last week that have come up, we've had to make some drastic changes to our budget. And those changes have not come without probably some net cost to our citizens, potentially in some services, but also to some of our capital outlay dollars and what we're doing and some of our contracts that we've anticipated putting in. It's also resulted in probably some changes that maybe we had talked about finding ways around, but unfortunately at this point I think it's become inevitable that we're going to have to do something related to some utility rate increases this year. We're entering into some uncharted territory, so I'm going to start off with that, saying that we don't know exactly what the net effect of all of this is going to be. We can quantify some of it, but what is the fringe pieces of those? What are we going to contain versus what additional are we going to lose related to that? And honestly, it's a best guess scenario at this point. And that's what we've tried to do in this situation, and pulling together these numbers and making these adjustments is trying to get us to a best guess number. That number, honestly, we will, based on the way timing falls out, we will still collect money in July, we will still collect money in August, really at our full sales tax rates. September, we will see the start of that decline, and then in October, November, and December is when we will really feel the effects of this. So unfortunately, it's not going to be that we start the year and I can give you something month one and say, oh, here we go, don't worry, look, we're a whole lot better off. This is really going to be a process that it may be November and December before I can actually tell you what we are going to experience net effect wise, because that's the delay we get from the tax commission. I mean, we're 2 months behind from a month that sales tax is actually collected in the city until we actually receive those dollars. We're 2 months behind in that process. So, you know, I'm just not going to be able to give you guys a warm fuzzy on anything, probably until we get to around Christmas time. And hopefully then at that point, we can come back and say, hey, based on what we've seen and based on where we are, the numbers are coming in better than we expected. The last thing I want to tell you, but you know I'm more than willing to stand here and tell you, is guys, these numbers aren't what we expected. And they're not what we wanted to do. So in light of that, we've gone through and changed the budget effectively that Meredith was here, whenever Meredith was here, she presented to you all, that we've kind of kicked around in various conversations individually, whenever you guys have come to me and sat down and gone through this. But we've made the following changes that are in this budget. I want to make sure you guys understand these, and then I'll be happy to answer anything specific that we want to address. So looking at the changes and where we are, let me direct you maybe to page 2 of the document, which is the roll forward of fund balance.
Is this the one you just handed out to us?
No, this is the one that should have been in the packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the new one on email this morning.
That was
It's laying there,
the-
Bill, not in.
That wasn't this.
I
Oh,
got
that
the
was
new one of
this. Oh,
I
okay.
got both.
Oh, you got both of those?
So I
Oh,
gave them my new budget.
okay.
ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had those. So yes, the one that's coming out.
I'm
Right.
confused. Is
So
the one
you-
It
not
is
in the packet?
it's the one, it is the City of Perry budget. The memo on top says fiscal year 17-18 annual
The
budget.
one you had handed out to us? Okay.
Yes,
Dated June 19th or dated June 15th?
June 19th.
June 19th.
Yeah.
Nothing in
That document. Sorry, yes. Oh, yes, that was in June. Sorry.
June
I thought you
5th.
said-
That's the one. Okay.
Page 2 of that document is the roll forward of fund balance. So right now, after these changes that I'm about to tell you about, we are projecting a decrease in our general fund of $40,000 in our fund balance for this year. We're projecting a decrease in the utility fund of $17,000, the airport $140,000. All the special revenue funds, again, I don't really worry about those because those should be net zero at the end of the day whenever we spend all the funds related to them, but the dollars in there we talked about specifically. So what changes did we make to get us to this point? Number one, we had a $280,000 decrease in our utility revenue, in our sales tax revenue. Again, a projection, but a best guess projection on what that number is going to look like for next year. Number two, a $36,000 decrease in our utility revenues related to potential loss of customers, and don't know when those dollars are going to recoup. We have included a utility rate increase that is only 2.2% for water. There is a 0% utility increase on electric, a 0% on sewer, and a 0% on trash. That resulted in pulling down our revenues about $180,000. Included in here is a $5.50 administration fee for all utility accounts. That amounts to about $160,000. That $160,000 in theory is used to offset the $360,000 of administrative costs that we have in the city office for preparing, delivering, and providing utility bills and meter reading on all of the accounts. Again, trying to match our expenses with our revenue sources is what that piece is doing. We've adjusted our health insurance from the 10% that we had in the budget. You know, as we originally talked, we were talking about a 24% rate increase was the quote that we received back. We've gone back through that, changed some of the options, working with Dixie, working with them and really seeing what it is. And we've got it down where effectively we can offer a 2% health insurance increase cost to our employees. Now, there is a change in benefits related to that, but the change in benefits keeps the employee from having to pay anything related to health insurance. If they elect, we will then offer a second program that if they elect to pay some out of their pockets, they can pay and buy up to pretty much the same plan that we had this year. The net additional cost in that will come 100% out of the employee's pocket. But instead of going into the program and instead of offering a program that is, everybody has to pay 25% of their health coverage, we said, no, let's offer something that we pay 100% of. Doesn't cost the employee anything. And then if they choose to take option B, they can buy up to it. I think it's a better way of doing this. It does allow those that don't want any money to come out of their check to stay where they are. Those that do have higher medical expenses and are using, based on our plan numbers last year, it was 14 individuals that used more than $10,000 in medical coverage. So of all of our coverage, only 14 used that 10,000 and over. So you see what I'm saying? In a numbers game, it really doesn't make sense for us to go out and pay a whole lot more. You know, I mean, this 18% more that we were going to have to pay whenever we can turn around and provide for the majority of our employees health coverage that really will not cost them net more than what they paid this year. So that's the good part on that. There is a reduction in the contract with Chamber and Main Street. Taking both of those down, Gordon was in and we sat down and we're talking about cuts and talking about where to go and things to do. And you know, I'm looking at these situations related to this in this way. In the past, we have had excess hotel motel tax funds available to us that we can fund Chamber and Main Street out of. Based on this year's budget and based on our projected hotel motel tax collections, we were not going to have any excess hotel motel funds to spend on economic development activities. And we were going to have to use sales tax dollars to fund those contracts where they were. They were $32,400 apiece where they were. Because we were taking such a big hit in sales tax, I had said take it to zero. Gordon said, no, we've got to continue to support them. And so Gordon's the champion on this one at this point. But we took them back to $20,000 a piece on those contracts. Again, those dollars this year, unlike prior years at any time in the past, are coming 100% out of sales tax money. They are not coming out of economic development hotel motel tax funds. We're going to have to pay those out of sales tax in this year's operating budget to make it work.
So
We had-
just a moment, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Russ.
Go ahead.
So in the book, what are their, the reductions, or they are at what now?
They will be at $20,000 a piece. They were at $32,400 and they're down to $20,000 each in the proposed budget part. We had a 13th police officer that was budgeted in here. We removed that from the budget. We had to increase, because of this sales tax issue, we've had to increase our transfer to the general fund from PMA about $100,000. So that's additional expense over on PMA. And then we have cut capital projects out. General fund, we've got $120,000, and the PMA, we have cut $267,000 out of our budgeted capital projects. All those dollars adding together get us to this net position that I'm presenting for you. If you want to look at the actual capital projects, page 1 of that memo kind of gives them a summary of the capital projects that we have left in there by department. As you will see, they're all very small capital projects. All of the vehicle requests that were in there have come out. All the equipment requests, and the two big equipment requests were the backhoe and the vehicles that were in there. And all of those pieces have come out of this year's budget. My thought on that piece is this is effectively our operating budget. We still have capital outlay dollars available in our sales tax fund that we have 1/4 of that appropriated for capital projects. We can use that for anything that we need that comes up as an emergency. But until it comes up as an emergency and until we have the supermajority of vote from the council, we can't spend money out of there. But we haven't allocated any dollars out of that for this year's budget. So if something comes up from a capital standpoint that is an emergency, I think we will look to that fund to fund that part of our operations.
But our streets and sewer projects will go on.
The streets,
Planned.
what is left in here, the streets projects that we had, the sewer project that is in place, Also, the ambulance, where we have already committed a grant match money of $58,000 to that program. All of those are still in this budget. The ambulance piece is a questionable item. We're still waiting on a response from that grant, so we don't know what's coming there. Although with the latest issue that the ambulance had, and the chief's here, he might address that more, but we had one break down on the interstate the other day. I hate to tell you, from a public safety standpoint, we're going to have to if we do not get the grant, we're going to have to revisit the funding of an ambulance later on this fiscal year. We can't have out on the roads an emergency and not be able to take care of it. We have signed on to provide EMS services, and we will do that from Russ's standpoint, funding wise. We will do that to the best of our ability in all cases. And if that means that we actually have to dig into our own coffers to make up the other $58,000, then we will find that from either our capital project money or from one of our other budgets. But we're not going to not provide emergency medical services to our citizens that we've agreed to provide because we have something broke down on the side of the road, and it was just the fact that, oh, we didn't buy something. We will, my suggestion to you at that point will be dip into whatever we have to dip into to make that happen. So those are still in there. Guys, this budget is honestly not a fun budget. I'm hoping at the best that I can come back with some upward revisions for you, so we can add back a few of the capital projects that we can look at what's going on as this comes through. But right now, this is where we are. Later on in the agenda, there is a hiring freeze that is proposed. Effectively, unless it is an essential position, and that essential position will be deemed by the city manager, 5 days notice issued to you all. Even in a vacant position, we will not rehire without full notice to you all that we are rehiring. That's the significance of how far I think we are. Somebody retires, same thing happens. That's a vacant position. It will still come back to you all. It'll be deemed, an essential position, come back for your all's agreement that that's where we are as those positions come open. It hamstrings administration at this point, but I think we all want to be on the same page, in the same game, whenever we're dealing with this. It's uncharted territory, guys. It's nothing that this community has ever had to deal with, and really, except for a few one-offs. I mean, in 17 years of doing budgets and doing presentations like this, I've never had one this big or had one significant item like this come at such a last minute that we just didn't even have time to plan for. I will tell you this, I'm glad that we received notice last week because we at least had time to make some adjustments. It would have been worse, in my opinion, had we got this in August or September or October, whenever we're running full speed into next budget year, making plans, committing our funds and doing our pieces without having that knowledge, and then blindsided by something like this. Even whenever we're conservative in our sales tax estimates, I would never have been this conservative in what I presented to you. And so it's a significant number, and I hope that as we move through this year, through some of the economic development activities and outreaches that have already happened. Starting last week, literally, Monday afternoon late and Tuesday morning, phone calls were already being made related to economic development outreaches. And I think you guys have kind of been piecemealed on those and kind of know a little bit about those conversations. Again, pieces that we don't disclose those names, and we won't disclose that in public for now until maybe something happens. But those are pieces that are ongoing, and hopefully we can maybe right this ship quickly. So that's where we are. Again, this is the budget presented to you all tonight for adoption. It is a game plan, and this is the best game plan I can bring to you at this time. I will keep you guys updated month in and month out on changes to where we are and changes to what we need to have, as always. But this year, don't look for my happy-go-lucky, oh, hey, man, we're knocking it out of the park. I'm just afraid that I might not be giving the most rosy of pictures as I talk to you in the fall this year. So.
Questions?
I'd like to publicly thank you and Dixie both for your hard work on trying to get this out. Last Monday morning, I was in panic mode, or Monday by noon. And as you well know, I emailed you. I mean, I was absolutely, because we had a budget.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you're able to work through this and get something done that wasn't gonna be detrimental to all of us. So, thank you all. And it is detrimental, don't get me wrong, it's very detrimental. But it could have been a heck of a lot worse.
It could have been worse, yes.
Gloria, do you have a question?
I hope this is the right time. I was thinking it would be during the regular meeting. And I just want to say I feel for our city, not only the city council, but our whole town is hurting right now. And I'm really sorry y'all had to go through this because I know that it's really, really tough. But I'm here to say on that contract with the chamber, I did write a note on the back because Noel's on vacation and I'm chair of the chamber this year. And Linda Luthi is her assistant, and she's here tonight. And I wanted to make sure you saw that I wrote the chamber budget listed in this document based on the amount of money received from the city last year. These numbers will have to be adjusted to come in line with what is being allocated this year. And we welcome any suggestions and input that any of you might have on the cuts. And we thank you for contracting with us for in the tourism development area. I want to say the monies you give us is for the Cherokee Strip Celebration, Spring Fest, the car show, and it may look like it doesn't cost me anything to do that. But like in years past, we have to pay bands to come. It does cost. So if you see those cuts, you know, you'll know why. And the chamber will have their planning session next week, and we will try to utilize the money that you have allocated us to the best of our ability to keep the things going as best as possible. Probably the first thing that'll be cut will be all the publicity and all the little brochures that go out all over the state and in different parts of the country. But we do appreciate you contracting with us, and would like to say that 43% cut in our budget will really hurt, which came unexpectedly, but we're with all of you. That cut will hurt in a lot of places, and I know one thing that I have to say, Walmart is not our provider. God is, and He cares about everything that concerns us, and He will take care of our city. Our city has bounced back time and time and time again from many other devastating things, and it'll bounce back again and it'll be better than ever.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you very much.
Those items are in the regular meeting, but I would invite, if you want to say it now, or you can wait till the regular meeting when your item comes up. That's up to you.
I can go ahead and say something. That was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. On behalf of Main Street, I too want to thank you guys I know how much scrutiny you guys are under, and it's hard to go and constantly have to hear it and read it and be involved with it, and it affects so many parts of your life. I have felt in light of the recent events and with what's coming this week, it's been exhausting, and but I'm excited. I look forward. We're gonna have to change a lot of things that we do at Main Street. It's going to really hurt a lot of functions that we're able to do. And you know, like this year with having the Smithsonian and providing, it's so important for us to be an accredited Main Street, and just that alone costs thousands of dollars. Once you add in the trips, the required trainings, the actual just accreditation, and then all of those other little things that we're going to have to work out the details of. But I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what all changes that we can make, and that hopefully the Walmart closing will end up being a blessing in disguise, because I think that it could really affect us as a town. And if you look at a lot of downtowns around us, that's their times to shine. The downtown's the heart of the town, and so getting a strong heartbeat again would be great. anyone wants to convince my husband to buy me a building, I want to put in a store, so just everyone can go ahead and work on that.
I told you I'd volunteer to work.
I know. And so this could be a great opportunity to see a lot of that growth and a lot of that small business growth because of the importance that and the high, tax revenue that and local reinvestment. I think it's a difference between chain is 13% and the local is 48%. And so I look forward to seeing a lot more of those small businesses come. And for all of your involvement in the next 3 days.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Well, after tomorrow. Wednesday through Friday.
Thank you. Council, I'm asking you to consider approval of the resolution 2017-02.
Motion to approve resolution number 2017-02.
Second.
Have a second. Any questions? Any further discussion?
On your economic development, Cherokee Strip Museum, is that new?
That's new.
So we are cutting Main Street and we are cutting the chamber, but we're adding museum.
Yes.
What are we doing with that? Is that just paying an electric bill or what is that?
That's mainly for utilities.
So we're taking on a new project in the midst of cutting everything else.
Yes. The reason we're doing that is they've been cut down to just administrative cost of the personnel. They've had to take on their utilities, even their maintenance of the building. So they sent a letter asking for help, and we decided that we would try to. That's why it's there. And our curator's here if you'd like to ask her some questions.
I'm just concerned about cutting all the others, but yet we're taking on a new commitment to fund another entity. Whenever we really don't have the funds to provide for those that we have.
Well, we don't have the funds to provide one. We have, but we're making adjustments to do it for all of them. And this one economically does as much or more than the others combined. Any other questions?
The agreement itself comes under the city agenda, under item I, and, will likely be a direct vote on
Okay.
that part. I'm just maybe trying to help you. We can field comments now, but changes to the budget could actually come under item I, and the determination of the funding for that directly.
Okay, thank you, that's helpful.
Does that help? Okay.
Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Steve-O. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. We'll move on to item 7.
Now the document that was in front of you, dated June 19th. Sorry about that. Was a whole bunch of extras. Last week was a busy end of the week, needless to say, trying to get all of these pieces through you. I'm going to give you the rosy news. This is actually the good piece. Based on where we were going to finish the year, budget-wise, compared to what we had projected and where we were able to propose to you budget increases in the general fund of $70,000. Mind you, we had already budgeted a loss, but we're going to bring that loss up, and it will not be as bad. So we budgeted an increase of $70,000 there, and we're budgeting a PMA net increase of $333,000 on that side. So pretty much, we bring, as a result of this, we will bring a net change in our general fund of $365,000 decrease for the year. That does include all of the economic development purchases that we made. So that being considered, I think we're in pretty good shape there. And the utility, the PMA utility side will show a positive $7,300 for the year whenever we finish this piece. So that's really the net of all of those. I'm not going to read that memo to you in detail, but that is where we set, and these dollars will get us in compliance for the end of the year. And probably, unless Sarah just goes crazy and David goes crazy approving a bunch of POs between now and the first of the year, we will actually be even a little better than these numbers. But I did leave room for some of their craziness that might happen the last week or so of the year. Always does. But these are good pieces, guys, and are going to put us in a better financial position than what we had originally planned for last year when we started this budget process.
I don't get crazy with that, calling you first.
Oh, okay. And that is true. I must say, he will pick up the phone at any opportunity that's anything out of the norm. And he always says, can we do this? Guys, and honestly, all the department heads are that way. Man, I side note here, but just this past week, I mean, literally, after Monday's news, by Tuesday morning, I bet I had 7 emails in my inbox from department heads and staff saying, hey, cut this, move this, I don't have to have that, we can do without this. I mean, everybody literally the next morning was saying, make these changes and in a sacrificial way. I mean, it wasn't anybody coming back and saying, oh, well, now I need another, everybody was 100% on board and was helping get to where we were. That's because we have great department heads, and that's because we have guys that long-term are concerned about what we're going to do. They know, hey, it might be a tough year this next year, but in the past, most of the time whenever they've requested it, we've kind of given carte blanche. I mean, we've always been able to provide, and they knew this year, man, if I've got to suck it in, I'm gonna suck it in, and they've done a great job.
And they did that when there wasn't any fluff to cut. They cut stuff they needed.
They cut stuff that they needed, yes, for sure.
Comments, questions? Recommend discussion, we've had it, and approval of the FY 2016-2017 budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Any new business need to be brought to before the PMA this evening? Any new business? Seeing none, item 9.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. Good. I call to order the regular meeting of the City Council, City of Perry. It is June 19th, 2017. Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Franklin.
Here.
Marshall. Ahern.
Here.
Seabolt. Here. Morrow.
Here.
Stroller.
Here.
Johnson.
Here. I do declare a quorum. We'll start with consent agenda item 1, A through I. Any discussion on those? Roll call, please. I need a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. We move to item 4, comments from those assembled concerning the agenda this evening. Comments from anyone assembled? Comments? Seeing none, item 5, proclamation, commendation, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Council, staff, Seeing none, we move on to item 6. City manager's report and monthly update. Hank.
Okay, we've got a long agenda tonight. I won't bore you with a lot of details. You've got my report in front of you. Tyler Kilmer is our new ball field manager. He's on the job. So I believe he's doing a good job. He's energetic, and I believe he's going to work well for us. He's working with Brenda. We've rearranged the flow chart a little bit there, so he's answering to her. We've got Laura Richardson, is our new caretaker at CCC Lake Park, and she's doing a very impressive job. She's been out there, I think, a week now, and both of those are doing a very good job.
Her mother was a long-time employee of the city, correct?
And I had come to you a while back asking for some money to do the remodel on the lobby of the city hall. Well, we put that on hold, so nothing is moving forward there. Sam and I met with individuals from Charles Machine Works last Tuesday and looked at the needs in buildings and such out there. As you are aware, those buildings are owned by the Charles Machine Works, and they're in need of some repair. And they've asked us to give them a plan of what we need. And comment was made, if we're going to build a building, don't build it so small that if you buy a new vehicle, you don't have a place for it, but we don't want to roof over the whole parking lot either. But so they've asked us to come to them with a plan, and we've toured those with them. And just a couple of things going on around town. The casino is in process of getting approval for more parking lot that'll be east of the existing casino, and a small administrative building will be placed on that lot. That'll be going to Planning Commission here soon. The Brahms store is almost worked all through the paperwork part. All the reviews have been done on the plans, and that'll be going to Planning Commission soon. And your packet today includes a small booklet like this, and the contents of it will show up here in a little bit for you to approve. But that's what we've been putting together or trying to provide for the Grace Hill Cemetery. Has pulled all the rules and regulations that pertain to cemetery all into one little booklet. And Tyson prepared this cover for it, and we'll have those available provided that your approval is reached tonight on the changes to that content. And Gordon and I rode the train to Ark City last week, and the most impressive thing to me was how smooth and quiet it was. We were able to have discussion with some of the officials of Amtrak, and we'll be writing a letter addressed to them and some state officials and others asking for their support for this stretch of track from Oklahoma City to Topeka to be opened up for passenger rail service. Over the years, that's been a desire, but the rail itself needed to be improved, and now those improvements have been made. So I think it's down to opening up the depots, and those will be the responsibility of the individual cities. But there's some money set aside that we can get to through some Tiger grants. And so when that time comes along, there's some money set aside that could be used for that. And otherwise, this week has been pretty well consumed with attention to the budget, with the announcement of Walmart closing. And like Russ alluded to, there have been phone calls made, a lot of discussion going on. I'm actually excited about the potential. I think we have an opportunity here to change our economic structure, and I'm going to look at it with an optimistic viewpoint. So, you see anything on there you have any questions about, or any other questions?
Thank you, Dave.
I'm glad y'all caught the train.
I do too. We originally had backed out of it because it's a one-way ticket out of town, and maybe that was set up.
Somebody set that up.
But we fooled the system. Our wives came up to Ark City and picked us up. We had lunch up there and came back. So here we are.
Been a lot of people on that one-way train.
I would like to commend the city of Perry for turning out.
Yes.
It was a great turnout, and we had newspapers showing our coverage, and when we would offer them to Karen and them help us, people wanted more than one. So I think we really had a good showing that we were in support of that.
We put those on the train, and then as I walked through the train, I saw people sitting around reading the Perry Daily Journal. And people from other states that, so they got a little taste of our community. It was neat.
The turnout up and down the line was really good, but our public response from people on Facebook was really phenomenal. It more than tripled everybody else's responses, positive responses. I want to say shout out to everybody participating.
The cookies were a nice touch too, weren't they?
Yes, they
Amen.
were.
That was from
That's right.
7-Eleven.
You're welcome.
We set those out for people in the kitchen area, and those were a hit.
There's plenty of cookie monsters in state.
Well, I guess, because I didn't see the cookies.
You had to be on the train.
Oh,
They were on the
On
train.
that one-way trip, buddy.
I don't want on that either.
We need to move on to item 7, our financial officer's report.
We kind of talked, gave you the budget amendments, kind of told you the increases and the net differences, where we're seeing those. Guys, I don't really have anything too exciting to tell you that happened in the month of May as far as activity goes. One thing that I will bring to note was last month, hotel motel tax collections were back up to $21,000. That did include one of them was a back payment. Part of that was some back money that was owed to us, but even without that, we still would have collected enough to make the debt service on the ball fields and the commercial park road. So those committed funds were back to covering that part. So that was a good piece for us, and actually a positive thing that we haven't, that I haven't had much of since really January. You guys have heard me say that every month, and I was really shaking my head wondering what we were missing. But I think just in talking and looking, I mean, the ball fields in May were busy, and a lot of vehicles and a lot of activity out there. And even this week, I've been driving out by the hotels, the comment was made how full they were. So hopefully we'll have another good month next month, and maybe get back on that trend of sales of hotel motel tax. The rest of the expenses, guys, by the time we adopt the amendments and go through all of those, all of these budget items are all going to be within our expectations. Like I said, an extra $70,000 to the general fund, an extra $360,000 to the NCUA. So both of those are going to get us back where we expect it to be, and life is going to be good. So,
Questions, really?
I have a comment that people will probably be wondering about pertaining to the budget. You will see us still spending money on street improvements and on the sewer improvements, and wondering why we're cutting so much in some areas, but yet we're still paving streets. That is a special tax money earmarked specifically for that. It can't be used for anything else. And if Russ wants to explain it any further than that, I just want that to be out there for people to understand that it's not the same money.
Questions?
It's earmarked just for that.
It
Just for
is,
streets.
by the vote of the people, we are restricted and can only spend that on streets. So, streets, sidewalks, transportation pieces. So that's, we will still follow up. I mean, we still have those funds, we still have that cash. So we will continue to use it on those projects.
Any further questions, comments, concerns? We'll move on then to item 8. Consider items pertaining to the sludge dewatering container filter and the wastewater treatment plant improvements project for Oklahoma Department of Commerce, CDBG grant number 16616, CDBG 15. There are listed 5 items. We're only going to consider 4 of them this evening. One of them needs to be this evening. One of them needs to be held over for the next meeting for some amendments that'll be going on. That's item 5. There's some amendments to that one item that will be coming out later. So we're going to hold it over till our next meeting. But items 1 through 4 are open for discussion and consideration and for your approval. Item 1, discussion and action on approval of payment for the NODA invoice. That's what their fee is for doing, for helping us with the grants and administering the grant.
I'll make a motion.
Have a
Second.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. Item 2, discussion and action on the monsoon invoice with approval amendment number 1 to owner engineer agreement increase in the compensation $7,559.90 for a total of $39,559.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or concerns about that?
Why was there an increase?
Let's go back and look.
You want to have another this?
Oh, there's Jennifer. I'm sorry, Jennifer.
I think the increase came with if you remember during the bid process, there were several amendments and changes in the process from the first sludge thickening basin to a dewatering container. And within that, there was a lot of changes in to the design and to the items needed and things based on the need that the utility workers wanted. So I think that is what increased the cost by that amount.
I thought I remembered we had change orders on that.
We had one at that time to award the bid, and then at the end, since we're at the end of the grant, we see that there was a $7,000 that wasn't covered. So that's what we're trying to make sure is all the dollars are covered.
Thank you. Don't walk away, you'll probably need to be needed again. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes, we got a motion and a second.
Okay, roll call.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 4 of 8, discussion and action to accept the engineering certificate, pardon.
We didn't do 3.
Three.
Oh, we didn't? Why did you check it off?
Yeah.
Discussion and action to accept the final inspection report for the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, CDBG, grant number 16616, CDBG 15.
It's just a standard form that
Motion.
Department of Commerce has us fill out.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. All right, it's there. Item 4, discussion and action to accept the engineering certificate of completion for the sludge dewatering container filter and the wastewater treatment improvements project for Oklahoma Department of Commerce, CDBG, grant number 16616, CDBG 15. You can see Blaine's signed document back here that completes the program. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabolt. Yes. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. I do need a motion to hold over number 5.
Motion to table 5.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Eckert.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Oral.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. We'll move on to item 9. Consider approval of resolution 2017-05 of the City Council, City of Perry, Oklahoma, supporting the Oklahoma legislature for establishing a passenger rail service in the state of Oklahoma and encourage them to provide funding for the continuation and expansion of the Heartline Flyer.
Motion to approve resolution 2017-05.
Second.
Questions or comments? Thank you, Jennifer. Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Oral.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 10, consider approval of ordinance number 2017-17 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 11, Article 2, entitled Cemetery of the Perry Municipal Code 2015, providing for the deletion of section 11-210A1 through 1 through 3, and relettering of the section, deleting cemetery services no longer provided by the city, providing for the amendment to section 11-210B, providing for payment of setting monuments to the sexton and amending the office hours, providing for the amendment to section 11-214A, clarifying the use of weed killers in the cemetery, providing for an addition to new subsection 11-214P, providing glass decorations and other objects of remembrance in the cemetery, providing for the amendment of Chapter 18, Section 11-11, deleting certain subsections and renumbering the sections, for repealer, savings, codification, severability, penalty, and declaring an emergency. All this is in the little booklet for most of it, and then the actual deletions and corrections to the drafts are provided here and crossed out, as David explained. I'm going to, he has a real reason for the weed killer thing, and I'm going to let him explain this from our cemetery staff.
Well, they requested that we not let people just go out there with any kind of weed killer and spray it around. That is something that they do on their own, and they would prefer that our employees handle the weed killer rather than just letting anybody nearby do it.
You go to, it's first there in your attachments on section 11-214A, you can see where most of that's crossed out. And it just says by the cemetery, by the sexton or designee.
And I think the reason that question came up last time is it appeared that no one could use it or something like that. We didn't have it worded correctly. So we went back and reworded that.
And another point I'd make in point P of that section, no glass decorations of objects of remembrance. Glass vases and glass jars become a hazard out there. Especially just children and small children, especially in their little shoes and tripping, so we want to eliminate the glass. And then the charges, if you noted those, changes in charges and things like that.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2017-17.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Oral.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, Council.
Motion on emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Oral.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. Item 11, consider approval of ordinance 2017-19, of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 1 of the Perry Municipal Code 2015 entitled General Provisions by the amendment of Section 1-112, adopting and incorporating by reference into the Perry Municipal Code 2015 Title 21, Title 37, and certain sections of Title 47 and Title 63 of the Oklahoma statutes as amended, providing for maximum fines, costs, and providing for exceptions, providing for repealer, savings, codification, severability, effective date, and declaring an emergency. I hate to do this, but I gotta ask Bryce for help on this when it has to do with our court system.
If you take a look at this ordinance, and it's really tab 11, and if you would turn to that very quickly, you can see on page 2 of this ordinance that we've already adopted. Look at the crossed out language in the middle of the page. We've already adopted by reference Title 213747. Why do we do that? Well, we can prosecute state crimes, state laws, as long as they're misdemeanors. So rather than state all of those state crimes in ordinance, and maybe the state law changes a little bit, now we got to go back and change your ordinance, we just incorporate them by reference, okay? So what are we doing here? Well, in A, B, C, I'm saying that better, okay? That's the first thing. I'm just saying that better. I'm actually saying that it only applies to misdemeanors, and I'm stating what the maximum fine is. And under Title 47, I'm actually giving the chapters in Title 47. We're not incorporating the whole thing, just the stuff that's relevant to municipal court. So, we already have it. I'm saying it better. A, B, and C. D is different. Okay, so D is really what we're talking about today. Back in November, House Bill 780 was submitted to the public by way of a statewide vote. And in that vote, the people of the state of Oklahoma decided that felony possession of controlled dangerous substance violations should no longer be felonies, but should be misdemeanors. Now, that did not pass in Noble County, but it passed rather handedly throughout the state, by 60% or more. Now, that did not make, some people from law enforcement very happy, or from the judicial side very happy. And why? Well, we have in some places, we have drug courts. And if you're charged with a felony controlled dangerous substance charge, and you go to drug court, you actually have a sword of Damocles hanging over your head. You have to take a weekly drug test. You have to do all these things they tell you to do, and if not, the sword comes down and you go to prison for a while. Well, this has eliminated that. There is no sword of Damocles anymore, because after July 1st, they can't charge a felony. So it's only a misdemeanor, okay? So you can see why, law enforcement and justice, may be a little bit upset about that. But that's what the public did. The public did that here, and I think what the reason, you talk about why they did it, I mean, you don't really know, but the folks that were pushing it were talking about we've got too many in prison who have a disease. It's the old, this is a disease, and it's not really put these folks in prison. We got too many people in prison, and we have to start cutting costs somewhere. And so let's treat it like this. Well, that is the law effective July 1st in the state. So why are we looking at this? Well, like I told you before, we are allowed to charge misdemeanors in the municipal court. And that would include now misdemeanor CDS charges. In November of this year, and for 10 years prior to that, we charged driving under the influence charges in the municipal court. And we collected, I don't know, $30,000 to $40,000 a year in revenue for DUIs. We wouldn't charge second offenses, but first offense DUIs would come here. The District Attorney's Council and the state legislature decided that they would take that right away from us. And the reason they did was that DUIs in the city were considered freebies, because on your second DUI, it's a felony. So as you can see, DUIs are treated more harshly than possession of methamphetamines now. Because on the fourth charge of charge with small amounts of methamphetamines, it's still going to be a misdemeanor. Okay? But they thought that this was a freebie, so they took that away from us. And so that revenue disappeared. Okay? What we're talking about here is filing those here. Our police officers are the ones that, 95, and the chief can talk about, 95% of the drug cases that are made here are made by police officers on salary and benefits in cars with gas, and write the reports on our computers and file the charges up at the district court and are called for testimony up there, and we receive none of those funds. Now, we are presenting this ordinance not only here, but we're presenting it in Blackwell, and we're presenting it in all cities that I represent. And it's unfair if I didn't tell you that Brian Hermanson is opposed to this. And he asked me for an opportunity to speak to the city council about this issue. But he knew it was coming up, and just to remind him, I texted him this morning, or sometime early today, to tell him that the meeting was at 6:15. But he's opposed to it, and if he was here, he would talk about the fact that, that these crimes are really bad, and these people are hurting people. And this includes controlled dangerous substance for date rape drugs, and cocaine, and crystal meth, and stuff that's really bad. And why are you allowing that to be filed in municipal court? Well, if it's a trafficking amount, if it's any kind of large amount, it won't be filed down here. It'll be filed in the state court. But really, as we lose Walmart and we look at our dipping revenue, and we see that the state of Oklahoma took away $40,000 of our revenue from DUIs, and we depend on that revenue as a part of our whole general fund to support the city. You might see the reason why we're thinking that it's smart to file those down here. Now, whether this is going to result in the same fate that the DUI legislation occurs, like next legislative session, there will be a bill introduced at the legislature supported by the District Attorney's Council to remove the power for municipalities to file misdemeanor CDS charges in municipal courts of record. I'm assuming that will happen, just like it did with DUIs. And so that will be dried up at that point. But this will allow us 1 year to start filing these. Why do we do it? Misdemeanor drug offenses up at the county routinely are also deferred and are also dismissed. Or even if they're felonies, they're reduced to misdemeanors. Okay, and if they got them, there would be fines. There's prison overcrowding. That's the reason the public passed this. And they told us to do this. They didn't tell us to bring it to municipal court. Okay, that's just something that we're suggesting. So we are recommending this. It is a budget issue, but it's putting back a little bit of revenue from what it takes for you guys to fund. What does the police department cost per year here?
Well over $1 million.
Yeah.
In salaries and wages.
So it helps to cover that. Now the chief is here, and I'd ask him to also speak to the item.
I think Bryce pretty much covered it. Just wanted to put in, I did speak with Sherry DeBoer today, and she is all aboard of taking on this responsibility. You got to understand, the police department, district attorney, it's a business. They're in it to make their fines, get their money. It helps pay salaries on that end. But like I explained to Bryce, my guys are the ones out there generating this revenue. They're going out and working hard, getting the dope off the streets. Now, if we got the trunk load, yeah, that's gonna go to the district level on a felony. But when you get guys on traffic stops, they got a little sack of this and that, I mean, if they've got the little sack and a pipe, we can get maybe $1,600 of revenue for the city when the city police officers generated that stop. Now, on the district level, they still, every entity besides the Perry Police Department has to run it through the district court. They can't run anything through our city court. The Highway Patrol, OSBI, OBN, anytime they make a stop, the sheriff's office has to go through the district court, so they are getting their money on that end. But I just want to reward these guys that come and work for the city and we're paying their salary. Let us compensate some of the money that we're generating anyway. They're out patrolling, they're out getting the drugs. If it's just a small amount, I mean, we were against the 780, like Bryce said, law enforcement around the state hates it, and I promise you it's going to change. The District Attorney's Council is strong, they're going to go there and legislate and try to get this amended. But until they do, I think the city ought to benefit while we have a chance to get some revenue for the city. So.
It is unlikely, in my opinion, that the legislature will actually reverse what the public did, because this is a very populous state. And they tried to do it this year, and that's to try to get it, you know, well, the public didn't really get it, you know, I mean, and so we're going to make exceptions. And if Brian was here, he'd talk about that this could be, you know, having the dope within X number of feet of a schoolhouse, you know, I mean, it is all a misdemeanor if it's possession and it's small amounts. But the public is who, not sales, but the public is who has done that. What I think will happen, though, at least for municipal courts, not a record, is that we'll have a year. And then they'll probably take it away like they did with the UI. And we will prosecute these.
Yeah.
It's just that they will result, you know, if they're found guilty of it, they'll result in maximum fine. And, you know, every one of them will pay whatever the maximum fine, or if we defer it, the maximum administrative fee, which is up to $850. So,
now, on another note, it's still an officer discretion on any stop or any case he's on what he needs to file. Now, if we catch a guy out here and we've dealt with him 3 or 4 times, absolutely, we're going to go ahead and go back to district court with him. But it's a first-time offender, kind of like we treated our city DUIs. If we get somebody, they made a mistake, it's not really a freebie. But if we've dealt with this individual in the past, it will go straight to district, so it will be based on an officer's status on what they want to charge city or district. So
I'm ready to make a motion.
Get it?
Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2017-19.
Second. Roll call.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilpin.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Siebel.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Emergency clause.
Declare an motion to declare emergency.
Second.
Kolar.
yes.
Gilpin.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Siebel.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 12, consider approval of certain city contracts and resolutions. Item A under 12, consider approval of tourism development contract for the Perry Chamber of Commerce. Commerce provides tourism development services to the city. The compensation is paid for receipts of hotel and motel tax. Due to the budget, the annual amount of compensation paid under FY 2017-2018 is reduced from $32,400 to $20,000. Any discussion?
Small correction on that. We will be paying it out of sales tax this year, not out of hotel motel tax. In the past, we've always paid it out of hotel motel, but since you read that part, I was going to correct that part of the statement, Mayor.
Sure. Thank you.
Motion to approve A.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Dixie.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilpin.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Siebel. Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item B, consider approval of the service contract with Main Street of Perry Incorporated.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? None? Roll call.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item C, consider approval of resolution 2017-07 of the mayor and city council of Perry supporting participation in the 2017-2018 Oklahoma Main Street program.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Consider approval of contract for services with David Payne as a consultant to the Perry Planning Commission. David's been providing those services for a number of years to the Planning Commission.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item E, consider approval of contract of services with Perry Senior Citizens Incorporated.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item F, consider approval of an agreement with the Northern Oklahoma Development Authority.
So
for the-
moved.
I gotta finish reading.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
DBA Cherokee Strip Transit.
Okay. So moved. Sorry, Mayor.
It's okay. Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Consider approval of contract of services and lease agreement with Wehart Nutrition Project Incorporated.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Consider approval fifth option of the municipal solid waste collection and disposal contract dated June 19, 2017. This option provides for no increase in cost from our sanitation provider.
Motion approved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Gordon. I kind of want to make a point of order on this. Bryce, would you like to speak about what Jimmy did for us?
Well, first of all, we don't have an increase in garbage because he agreed to not up his rate, and he had a contractual right to up the rate if we did the option. I think I could go further though, in talking to him about it. I talked about the fact that Walmart's not there anymore. Of course, we're on a flat fee. So if we're losing revenue, we still have to pay it out. We're on a flat fee, flat monthly fee to him. And so he said, take a look at that and see if the increases over the past year aren't offset by Walmart. I'll make it lower. We did do a look, and we looked at all of it, and it looked like it was offsetting. But I do think that, he's a long-term vendor of ours. He stepped up and was even willing to do more, but I couldn't show it, so.
I just wanted
I think you
that to
should
be in
know
the
that,
minutes that
right?
he went above and beyond what he had to do for us.
Thank you, Bill.
So whenever we complain about the convenience center or trash service, we know that they did the right thing for us in our time of need. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Roll call, please.
Colder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Moore.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item I, consider approval of tourism development agreement with Cherokee Strip Museum. This agreement provides for certain services from the museum in exchange for $10,000 annually in monthly payments. There is a letter of agreement attached. Discussion? Kelly's here if you'd like to talk to her.
Shelley and I don't think she might be saying that, we talked about this a little bit last week, and I would like to know what revenue that the museum does generate for Perry. I mean, if you have an idea.
Kelly, would you stand at the podium, please?
Well, we have been for a long time owned and operated under the Oklahoma Historical Society and the Cherokee Strip Historical Society. So we're able to, our agreement with the OHS is that we keep our gift store sales and our mission. And I didn't bring numbers for that, I wish I would have. I can say, if you consider the school programs that we do with our Rose Hill School program, on pretty much every year we bring around 3,500 children through the doors, around 1,500 adults with those programs, and then our regular visitation is usually around $1,500 people a year. We've been going through a pretty large renovation. We basically have been redoing the entire inside of the museum. We added the blacksmith shop recently. It's not quite finished. It should open the same time as the rest of the museum reopens. We added the Walton Meyer House, and of course we still have the schoolhouse and the implement building. And I think sometimes it's confusing because I think people see us doing all of this stuff, but a lot of our projects we've been able to do are because of specific donations. I can't use that money to pay my utility bill or pay employees. And so recently with the cuts that we faced on the side of the state side, OHS used to contribute a lot to our budget, but in the last 2 years, pretty much everything except my position has gone away. So we're now paying for utilities and lawn care, which we sit on like almost 6 acres, so it's a, kind of a chore, and then we've lost paid positions, and then some maintenance that the local group is picking the slack up for, and so quite a few of those have been pretty recent within this last year, and so we've been looking at different ways. How could we stay afloat? Because even though we've been able to do some of these projects, once they're done, that doesn't change the fact that we still have to keep the lights on and, and that kind of thing. So that was kind of, that was where I was coming from when I sent a letter to the city talking about what are some options for us, because, we are a part of Perry and we do bring in people, not just because of our programming, but just general visitation. So we're getting a lot of people from different states and even different countries that maybe wouldn't have come through Perry. And we do our best when we have visitors. We're always pushing, our local restaurants and our shops and, that kind of thing. We're part of the tourism aspect of us. That's what we want to do. We want to support our local community. And so I know you had asked, how much do we do in revenue? Some of that I don't know. I wouldn't know how to even actually, nail down, because I don't really know how many people we've sent through on into Perry and they've, spent their money in our shops and restaurants and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to point some of those things out, and I know it's really bad timing, and I totally understand that. So I don't want to, be speaking in light of that and making that not seem concerning for me too. So I do want people to think of us though as part of the community and part of what would be an attraction for people to come and end up spending time in Perry. So does anyone have?
Can your organization accept just general donations from the public or from other organizations and things like that? And how much of that is actually being done?
We can accept general donations. I haven't had a significant donation, probably, about a year. But people do come in and just personally do, smaller donations just to support the museum. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question correctly, I'm
You
sorry.
are. I'm just curious as to how money is raised or additional ways that money can be raised, those kinds of
Right.
things.
Well, the Cherokee Strip Historical Society will have to be looking at ways to raise money. One of the ways that they've tried to combat some of the budget issues we've had is just for me to be tackling having our lawn maintenance and cleaning done with volunteers. And so, that was something we hadn't done in the past that we've, made efforts to do. But certainly with projects like the Waltemeyer House, that was all through donations and certain people, feeling the importance of that and contributing to that. So, it's something that the Historical Society will have to continue to do and to do a lot more of.
So the state has cut your budget completely with the exception of your salary only?
My salary and some maintenance, but it's,
Essentially everything else has gone away?
correct.
Timing is bad.
It is bad. But I just appreciate you letting me come and even to hear my requests, so. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
I just asked Russ what the utility bill was, and he said $11,500 last year. So
During all the renovation.
Yeah. But,
But they will have a blacksmith shop open, that'll be
yeah,
more power.
exactly. So this won't even cover the utility bill. So, and I do think you guys are an asset to the community. I really do.
And I have to agree with that also, wholeheartedly.
I need a motion.
Motion to approve item.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
No.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. Item 13, consider approval of resolutions 2017-06 of the City Council, City of Perry, Oklahoma, approving its 2017-2018 budget and other budgets and appropriating the revenues as stated purposes as contained in the budgets, directing the city manager and city clerk to take any and all additional action that may be required for implementation of this budget. This is the same presentation we made in the PMA. This is just to put it in action with the city.
Move to approve resolution number 2017-06.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 14, consider approval of budget amendments to 2016-2017 budget. Excuse me, I need to reread that. Consider approval of budget amendments for to fiscal year 2016-2017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. Sometimes my eyes get ahead of my tongue and I mess up. Or vice versa. Item 15, consider approval of ordinance 2017-20 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 17, Article 2 of the Perry Municipal Code, 2015, by in addition to a new section, 2017-218, Section 17-218. I'm trying to put a fiscal year on that. entitled Administrative Fee, providing for a $5.50 fee on every utility bill to recover utility billing, collection, meter reading, ancillary and incidental service request, repealer, savings, codification, severability, and declaring an emergency.
I've talked to Russ several times about this. I don't like it. I wish there was another way we could do it. I've asked him several times if there's another way we can get around this where we don't charge an additional $5.50 for every meter in town. He says like he can't do it. I guess I have to believe him. Depends how my calculator doesn't go as high as his does, for sure. But it's just another fee, and AT&T hit me with one today, and I'm not happy with them either.
Amen.
So I don't know any other way to do it except to say, yeah, we got to do this in order to get that 200 and whatever $1,000 that in that revenue that we're needing. That's it. I don't have any more.
Any further discussion? I need a motion.
And I'm sorry that we have to go through this
We all.
to everybody else, but that's the way it
Excuse me.
works.
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance number 2017-20. And I agree, it is painful.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Have a second. Discussion? Roll call.
Calder.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
And don't forget, we all pay that $5.50 if we have a meter.
Right.
So,
Emergency clause?
thanks for
Motion on
helping us.
emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
Calder. Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. This was not, this had to be done as a result of a lot of discussion in the last few days, all last week. It's just incredible.
Well, in good conscience, I'm glad they came up with something like this, Russ. Thanks again, because an increase in utilities, I got a hard time with that. Hard time.
Thank you. We're gonna move on to item 16.
That's fine, that's done.
I want to reiterate what Dave said and others have said around this table, and that is that this could be a possible positive for our community. Big box stores are not the be-all, end-all, especially for small communities our size. And if we can attract those small businesses to come around our square, to join us, we can make hay out of this bad situation. So, but it's going to take all of us working together in order to do that. Without the help of the folks that are out there buying goods and services and supporting your local businesses, we won't be a town very long. But we can, with all of us working together and looking at it from a positive standpoint, make a difference.
Well, I'm with Jim. I'm excited about after bawling and hitting the floor like somebody hit me in the gut. I'm excited about the opportunities now that are available. We have a 30,000 square foot building that we can divide up if we want to into smaller businesses, or we can work hard with those like Kayla Shrum said, I want a business downtown. Work with those people and make it happen. And support those that do take the risk a real risk of opening their own business in our community. My son opened a business down in Texas, in Cypress, Texas. He's been in business 1 year. He doesn't see how he's gonna make it another year, but he's gonna stay in there and fight it. So it's a real risk you take. He risked all of his retirement on opening a business. That's what people do. They go out there on faith, faith in themselves, faith in the Lord, and faith in the community. So we gotta support it.
Comments?
Item 16. Consider approval ordinance 2017-21 of the City Council, City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Perry Municipal Code 2015 by the amendment of Section 17413A entitled Water Rates, providing for a 2.2 increase in water rates, repealer, savings, codification, severability, and declaring an emergency. Background is part of the budget to increase 2.2% in water rates provided. Discussion.
Ditto.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Colern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold.
Yes.
Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion on emergency.
Second.
Colern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 17, consider approval of written motion declaring city manager that there is a hereby implemented hiring freeze, providing for exceptions, directing written notice to the city council of any hiring. We discussed this a little earlier. We are implementing a hiring freeze. Any discussion?
I make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Colern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seabold. Yes. Morrell.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council.
Did we skip 14, 15, and 16?
Did we turn too many pages? No, that's, we just went through all that.
Overdone.
I turned the page wrong.
Welcome to the twilight zone.
Thanks to being in my world.
I don't know.
He'll make a good mayor someday.
That's a compliment, Terry.
I think it was meant to be.
Okay, we're going to item 18 now.
Yes.
Consider approval resolution 2017-08 of the mayor and city council of the city of Perry, Oklahoma. The city is approving the city's group health insurance plan, namely United Health Care Plan AKC 9. Sound like a dog thing. Approving the Mutual of Omaha providing 10,000 term life insurance policies for employees. Establishing rates to be paid by members of the city's group health insurance program. Providing for such changes shall be effective July 1, 2017. Reauthorizing worksite benefit plan and authorizing execution of health reimbursement agreement, section 105, setting an effective date and designating an amount to be included in the budget for administrative costs, benefits of such plan. Reauthorizing the cafeteria benefit plan, including a medical and/or dependent care flexible spending account effective July 1, 2017. And approving NFP corporate benefits, formerly known as Messino, Huddleston and Associates, as broker.
I'll make the motion on resolution number 2017-08.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion?
The only question I have is how long do employees have to make their decision?
Like to sign up now?
Yeah.
Or
To do the pay up plan. I don't know what we're calling
Oh, okay, we have to have that all turned in by the 1st of the month.
That's what I figured.
So, we actually we're having we have our insurance meeting set up for this Wednesday, and we're encouraging everybody to come in. If they can't make the meeting on Wednesday, to at least come in by Friday, so we can start the paperwork process,
Right.
because we really need the week to upload it.
Yeah.
I'm worried it'll be a
We're
short
down to the
time
wire.
frame, but.
It is a short time,
Yeah.
but this was the best we could do at this point.
Yep.
Is there gonna be an insurance person here, or are you guys gonna do that?
Insurance people will be here on Wednesday.
Okay.
Calder,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Seagull,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. All right, number 19, consider approval of the amendment to the Noble County Hazard Mitigation Plan. I had some notes on that. We are going to move that to new business because something has come up that needs to be tackled tonight that we weren't aware of. So we're moving that to new business. We'll move on to item 20.
And 20, I'm asking to continue to next meeting. We just got our engineering information today, and Sam and I are not ready to present that to you yet, so I'd like to move that.
Okay, we have to have a motion.
Make the motion we table, was it 20?
Yes,
sir.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Calder,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Seagull,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 21, consider approval of 2017-2018 renewal participation agreement with Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for workers' compensation plan and authorize a payment of $182,078. This is to OMAG for our workers' comp.
Motion approved.
Have a mo-
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron. Roll call, please.
Calder,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Seagull,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. New business. Brought before us would be item 19, consider approval amendment of the amended Noble County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Stephen Duke is here to help us with this. Stephen.
Try to make this quick.
Well,
Here
fine,
tonight
fire.
as a committee member of the Noble County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Vicki Eggers has been working, she's not here, she's been working a handful of years on this deal. Of course, NODA is contracted Noble County to assist in getting this plan done. The latest plan has been sent off and approved by FEMA, and so we're in the final stages. Those stages include the municipalities and school districts within our county to approve and sign these resolutions.
They handed out one of these to you. That outlines that.
And the
It's
summary.
also in the
Also in your book.
Once these are approved and the signatures are collected, then they'll send it back to FEMA for a finalized approval. So that's why we're here tonight, is just to hopefully get this.
Include this as a proclamation from the city that has to go back. The proclamation was not outlined in item 19, so we're bringing it here under new business because we didn't know about this proclamation and they need it signed to send in now. So we're asking you to approve this, the plan and the proclamation.
Motion approved.
Second.
Do you need more than that, or was that?
No, that's good. That's good. Roll call, please.
Calder,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
who's over there, Franklin?
There he is.
I almost forgot.
I'm not the only one.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, my computer's doing funny things. I upset the whole thing. Hey, good to know.
Slide around.
Okay, Ahern,
Yes.
Seagull,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. I'll be sending that and sending it off. Or I have to sign it and just send it off. Okay. 23, consider convening into executive session for the purpose of the following. Number 1, conferring on a matter pertaining to economic development of the city of Perry to discuss economic development proposal with certain nursing homes, including local nursing homes, as related to the upper payment limit and resultant monies that can and other, among other uses, be used to support the city's municipal hospital trust authority and such local and other nursing homes, and the creation of proposal to entice real business to the Walmart site, which proposal is created, will create and retain jobs, payroll, and increase and continue tax collections in the city and its surrounding environment, as public disclosure will interfere with the development and implementation of the proposal, and discussion of remarketing efforts pursuant to 25 OS 307 C10. Item 2, discussing the appointment of city manager for the city of Perry, Oklahoma pursuant to 25 OS 307 B1. And number 3, discussing negotiations with the Perry Professional Firefighters Local 4242 pursuant to 25 OS 307 B2.
All that for me to say motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Thank you.
Mayor, we need to get you a big teleprompter with big words. Your finger down there was really just
Spending money, no.
Gotta read it.
donated.
Roll call, please.
Calderon.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Steve-O.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
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 Seabolt,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 25, discuss approval of employment agreement with Larry Pennell as city manager, City of Perry. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve employment agreement.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Kohler,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Seabolt,
No.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
No.
Johnson.
Yes. With that, we'll be contact.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Kohler,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Seabolt,
Yes.
Morrow,
Yes.
Stroller,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.